Mutahi Kagwe is one of Kenya's most respected and widely recognized public figures, a man whose calm authority, articulate communication, and steady leadership have etched his name permanently into the country's modern political and governance history, especially in the minds of millions of Kenyans who followed his journey during moments of national uncertainty. Born in 1958, Mutahi Kagwe is in his mid-60s, an age that reflects not just years lived but decades of accumulated experience in public service, corporate leadership, and national politics, and this depth of experience is evident in the measured way he speaks, the confidence with which he makes decisions, and the sense of reassurance he inspires among supporters and observers alike. He was born and raised in Nyeri County, in Kenya's central region, and belongs to the Kikuyu community, Kenya's largest ethnic group, a heritage that has shaped his early life, cultural values, and worldview, though throughout his career. Kagwe has consistently projected himself as a national leader rather than a tribal figure, often emphasizing unity, professionalism, and service to all Kenyans regardless of background. His educational journey laid a strong foundation for his leadership path, equipping him with analytical skills and discipline that later proved invaluable in both politics and business, and long before he became a household name, Mutahi Kagwe had already built a solid reputation as a competent professional. Serving in the private sector and in state corporations, the experiences that sharpened his understanding of governance, accountability, and institutional management. On the personal front, Mutahi Kagwe is married and is a devoted family man, and while his wife has largely remained out of the public spotlight, her presence has often been acknowledged by Kagwe himself as a pillar of strength and support throughout his demanding career, especially during times of intense public scrutiny, and together they are blessed with children, whom Kagwe has deliberately shielded from excessive media exposure, a decision that reflects his belief in separating public service from private life, and this choice has earned him quiet admiration from many Kenyans who value leaders who protect their families while serving the nation. Despite maintaining privacy around his wife and children, Kagwe has frequently spoken about the importance of family values, discipline, and integrity, emphasizing that leadership begins at home, a message that resonates deeply with audiences who see in him not just a politician but a grounded, principled individual. Politically, Mutahi Kagwe's journey spans several decades and multiple phases, beginning with his entry into elective politics in the early 2000s when he was elected Member of Parliament for Mukaweni constituency, a role he served with distinction and which introduced him to the realities of grassroots leadership, constituency development, and national legislative processes, and although his parliamentary career was relatively brief, it positioned him as a serious thinker and reform-minded leader during a period when Kenya was undergoing major political and constitutional transitions. After stepping away from elective politics, Kagwe did not retreat from public life but instead deepened his involvement in public administration and corporate governance, serving on boards of key institutions and refining his leadership style away from the noise of partisan politics, a phase that would later prove critical when he was called upon to serve the nation at one of its most challenging moments. Mutahi Kagwe's political affiliation has evolved over time, but he has been prominently associated with Kenya Kwanza and the United Democratic Alliance, UDA, particularly in recent years, aligning himself with a political movement that emphasizes economic empowerment, institutional reform, and decisive leadership, than while party politics form part of his public identity. Kagwe has often been perceived as a technocrat at heart, a leader whose loyalty lies more with effective governance and public interest than with political theatrics. It was his appointment as Cabinet Secretary for Health that transformed Mutahi Kagwe from a respected public servant into a national icon, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, a period that tested governments worldwide and exposed the strengths and weaknesses of leadership systems. And during this time Kagwe emerged as the steady voice of reason in a sea of uncertainty, delivering daily briefings that combined scientific clarity, moral authority, and a uniquely Kenyan sense of realism, phrases that quickly became part of national conversation and memes, but more importantly, messages that saved lives and restored public trust in government communication. His calm demeanor, honest acknowledgement of challenges, and refusal to sugarcoat reality earned him admiration across political divides, turning him into one of the most trusted voices in government and a rare example of bipartisan respect in a highly polarized environment. What makes Mutahi Kagwe's biography especially powerful for a YouTube audience is the transformation arc it offers, from a relatively quiet public servant to a nationally celebrated leader, from boardrooms and parliamentary benches to the center of a global health crisis, and through it all, the consistent image of integrity, competence, and humility. His age represents wisdom and steadiness, his tribal identity reflects cultural grounding without ethnic exclusion, his family life underscores values and discipline, and his political alignment places him within the core of national decision-making, creating a multidimensional portrait that appeals to viewers seeking substance over drama. Yet drama nonetheless emerges naturally from the magnitude of responsibility he carried. Beyond titles and offices, Mutahi Kagwe's story is about trust, the rare currency in public leadership, and how it is built through honesty, preparedness, and respect for the intelligence of citizens. And this is why his speeches, interviews, and public appearances continue to attract attention long after the peak of the pandemic, as people look to him as a benchmark of what effective leadership can look like. For millions of viewers and subscribers, his life story offers reassurance that competence still matters, that quiet strength can be more powerful than loud populism, and that leadership rooted in service leaves a lasting imprint, making Mutahi Kagwe not just a former cabinet secretary or politician, but a symbol of steady leadership in Kenya's evolving democratic journey, and a biography that continues to inspire, inform, and captivate audiences eager for stories of integrity, resilience, and national service. Thank you so much for taking your sweet time watching. For more videos like this, subscribe to my channel Behind the Name.